So today we are hopefully going to be finishing our brochures. And so I know right now you have all of your information you're writing about the explorers in a document. What I'm going to show you today is how to turn this into a brochure. So I'm going to demo this with this homework, that I had copied out for you guys. You can see this is kind of the format that your writing is in right now. A problem is if you go to put it on a brochure, right, it's going to be way too wide and it's not going to fit. So we're going to talk about just sort of formatting and making it look good, making it fit. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of my, let's see here, all of my text by hitting Command A. Then I'm going to go to Format, and I'm going to go down to Columns. Now, you're going to have to measure the width of your brochure. I'm thinking, just to save paper, you can probably do something like that, 2 columns, that's probably going to be about the right width. But you're going to have to see because you want to have a little space in between. You're going to cut these out in glue. If you want to adjust this margin so you have a little bit more space, you could do something like that. Same with this one over here. I'm thinking, oh yeah, okay. If you want to make a little more space and center it more, I'm going to move it back to where it was. But you're going to want to measure your brochure so you know how much space you have to play with. Okay. So now it's in 2 columns, which is nice because I'm not wasting all this paper. But if you look here at my information, it's nice and narrow so that I can cut that and glue it on. You're going to also want to think, though, about where your page breaks are going to be. And also, the size of your font. So, let's look at this right here. Pretend this is my writing and this is one section right here, right? I've got my one important thing about the explorers. I'm here moving on to the second section. I'm going to want this in a separate column. I don't want, let me find an example. Well, here I could just cut, and that would be just fine with a pair of scissors. But let's come down here. Look at this. So here is where one column ends, right? I fit here, but then the rest of it is on the next spot, and that's really pretty awkward. So if you find yourself in that kind of position, you might want to add a break. Okay, now I could add a break up here as well. Let me show you how to do that. For me, just to save paper, I'm kind of thinking, hey, I can just cut here with scissors and it won't look awkward at all. But look and see. All right, let's pretend we're going to put a break here first, and then I'll show you on the other one. So you would put your cursor where you want to stop your column. You're going to hit Insert, and you're going to hit Break. And then you're going to hit Column Break. If I hit the page break, what will happen is then everything goes to the new page. I'd like to just skip over to the second column over here. So don't do a page break, instead do a column break. And now I've got it over here, and you can see I have to do a little bit of deleting, get rid of the extra spaces, check the format. But you can see here I've got 2 columns, each with the information that I want. Let's come down here. Ooh, let's go to that awkward space again. So again, pretend here we've got a beginning of a section here. It carries on to the next page, and that's really pretty awkward. So I'm going to go here, click at the beginning actually. Whoops, hit Insert. You know how to do this, column break, bam, there it goes. Okay, so that will help you with sort of spacing. Another thing you're going to want to think about is font and size of font. So look at your sections. I have a very small section here. If this were going to go on one of my pages, I'm going to want to keep a very legible font. I would not do something like this because it's really hard for people to read. Usually people pick something that's like a sans serif font. Let's see. Certainly something like, Arial is nice. here, sans serif. These are all, I think this is a sans serif font. Something that's not distracting for your eyes, right? I can make it bigger, however, so that it's a little easier to read. And that'll still fit very nicely on the page. If you're going to make this size font, then you're going to want to make this the same, because it does have to, it has to match. Some of you are like, wait, I really want this really nice fancy font. A title is a great place to do a fancy font, and in which case, you could certainly do that at the beginning of your document and cut that out separately and put that on separately. Maybe you make a full title column. Let's do that. Insert a break. Go down to column break again. Bam, here we go. So this is going to be our title. I'm going to go to center. I'm going to want something that's very large. You'll have to experiment and see. And so I'm thinking here about which font looks like an Explorer font. I really like Cinzel. I think Cinzel is kind of like old-fashioned-y. I used that a lot for you guys. Let's see. The important about the Explorers. Okay, slightly smaller font, not underlined. Let's try 18 by Driscoll, something like that. There you go. Remember that on each page of your brochure, you will be adding a picture, or keep that in mind. So you do want to save some space when you glue these on for, what happened there, for what your picture's going to be. Come on, reset. Boom. Okay. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Have fun formatting, and I am excited to see the end of your brochures.